Hello chess lovers. Today I'm going to show you a game which was played between the 8th world chess champion Mikhail versus Grandmaster Leonov. This game was played in Riga 1949. Mikhail had the white pieces while Leonov had the black pieces, and Leonov chose the Khan defense against the 8th world chess champion Mikhail. So the game starts with e4, c6, this is called the Khan defense, d4, d5, e takes d5, c takes d5. We have the exchange Khan defense, bishop to d3, knight to f6, h3. This move protects the knight jump from f6 to g4 square, or if the knight which is on g1 square develops in f3 square, the bishop on c8 won't come to g4 square, pinning the knight to the queen. So it's a nice prophylactic move by Mikhail. And h6, the same idea, with the bishop on c1 won't come to g5 square to pin the knight when e5 is being played or e6 is being played to pin the knight on f6 to the black queen. And bishop to f4, e6, knight to f3, bishop to d6, offering an exchange of the dark square bishop. So bishop got exchanged by the queen of black, then c3, knight to c6, then Tal castled king side, and Leonov also castled king side. Queen to e2, rook to e8, preparing to play e5, knight to e5. Tal goes for exchange of the knight on c6 square. So queen to c7, f4. It's very aggressive, planning to open the file of the rook on f1 square. So knight takes on e5, f takes on e5. Now the rook file is open and the knight is attacked. So knight goes to h7, queen to h5, instantly going for the attack. Rook to e7, protecting the weak f7 square, which is attacked twice by the rook on f1 and the queen on h5 square. Knight to a3 was played by Mikhail and not knight to d2 square. a6. Why Mikhail played knight to a3? The plan was to bring the knight to the d6 square via b5. So knight to c2, we have queen to d7, knight to e3 square, bringing the knight to the king side where the main attack is going on. Queen to e8, guarding the f7 square. Rook to f6. This is the signature move of the magician from Riga. And queen to f8. What happens if g takes on f6? One line goes like this. Bishop takes on h7, check. King takes on h7. Knight to g4 attacks the h6 pawn with the knight and the queen. So queen to f8 is forced. Then rook to f1, f5, stopping the rook to come to f6 square. Knight to f6, check. King to h8 and rook to f3. Queen g7 and rook to g3. And if queen takes the rook, then queen takes h6. It's a very beautiful checkmate. So that's why we have queen to f8, rook to f4 by Dal, bishop d7, adding another protector of the f7 pawn. And let's see what happens. The game is going to go very exciting from here on. Knight to g4, bringing the knight to the very close to the king. Bishop to e8, planning to play f5, hitting the knight and also the queen. So knight to f6, check. Knight takes on f6, e takes on f6. And here, pause the video and think, what move would you play if you were black against Mikhail? Ready? In the game, rook to c7 was played. But let's examine what happens if g takes on f6. Then rook to g4, check. King h8 and queen to h4, threatening. Queen takes on f6, checkmate. So after rook to c7, Mikhail played f takes g7, attacks the queen. King takes on g7. Queen to e5, and black resigned the game. Let's see what happens if black continues. One line goes like this. If f6, then queen takes on c7, winning the rook and also check. And white has superior position and very good winning chances. But what happens if king goes to g8 square? Then rook to g4, check. Queen to g7 and queen takes g7 is very beautiful checkmate. And that is all. I hope that you enjoyed the game. See you next time. Take care.